How's everybody doing out there tonight? I can't hear y'all. I know Al Fragoni's over there feeding y'all really good over there. I'm going to close down the demos tonight over here at the Live Fire Experience. My name is Mike Starr from Blazing Star Barbecue. Before I get started, I want to thank the city of Memphis, SmokeSlam, and MBBQA for allowing me the opportunity to come out here, showcase my products, let you know a little about me, and show you a little different barbecue that you might not be used to out here in Memphis. So we're going to talk about tri-tip. Before we get started with that, the first thing I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm originally from North Carolina. I grew up on salt, pepper, butter, and bacon grease, right? That's what I knew, right? And then right out of high school, I joined the Air Force. Was fortunate enough to be able to travel all over the world. Did 21 years in the Air Force. During my travels, I got to experience a lot of unique cultures, taste some unique foods, and what I like to say, with my company, Blazing Star Barbecue, I'm going to bring in those unique flavors from my world travels to your backyard. They're not a regional style product. None of my products have a North Carolina style to them, even though that's my home. They're not Memphis, they're not Texas, they're not Kansas City, they're just Blazing Star, right? Everything has a little kick and some has more. The more heat I add, the more flavor I add, because I want you to enjoy it, all right? We have 5 seasonings. I'm going to showcase our beef seasoning tonight. We have an all-in-one seasoning and a beef rub, and those are both sugar-free. Then we have our porkin, our reaper, and our scorpion, okay? So our porkin, first of all 3 of these, they have sugar, but they have raw cane sugars. So they're not going to burn like other seasonings that have sugars in them. They're going to melt, they're going to caramelize, and they're going to kind of meld those seasonings and flavors together during the cook process, right? Like I said, as we go up in heat, we go up in flavor. The porkin rub actually took, in 2023, Barbecue News magazine named it the #1 chicken seasoning. So pretty cool option. And then we have our sauces, our original, our spicy, and our Asian bang. Like I said, everything's kind of multicultural. I have a lot of Spanish and Asian influence in a lot of my products, and that's mainly because of my travels and stuff like that. But so with those travels, my last duty assignment was out in Las Vegas, Nevada, right? And here, I had never heard of tri-tip. How many people out there has heard of tri-tip? All right, it's not big, right, on the East Coast. Matter of fact, it was a little hard for me to find it coming out here. So I had the pleasure of bringing in y'all some special tri-tip, some American Wagyu tri-tip, all right? So you're gonna get to taste some American Wagyu tri-tip. So before the 1950s, and still a lot of places in this country, tri-tip got used for ground beef and even for chopped up for roast meat, right? Well, in 1950s in Santa Maria, California, they figured out that, hey, this is one nice cut of meat if you keep it like this and cook it properly. But there's a trick to the tri-tips, right? So what I want to show you, if you look, and you can see it good because it's American Wagyu, you have seams. The grains go this way here, and then the grains go this way here, right? If you cut this tri-tip and you come across like this, all the way down, this is going to be good. But this is going to be the worst cut of meat you ever ate. You're going to chew on it. So because of it, you got to cut against the grain, right? So when I'm slicing, I'm going to slice like this, and then slice like this for this one, right? So what I like to do is when I'm done, and I'll show that later in the cook, is I'm going to, right on that seam, I'm going to slice it right there to separate it so I know to cut those differently to make sure we get you that perfect bite. All right. So with the tri-tip here, I like to keep it simple. I do a reverse sear on it. Worcestershire sauce, or Worcestershire sauce, right? Y'all all heard of that, right? Well, my good friends Bear and Burton's, they created, and it's got a long history. It's the first American Worcestershire sauce. It's called W sauce. I put this stuff on everything. Great on beef. It's perfect for a binder. You know, a lot of people say you don't get flavor from a binder. Well, I tell you what, there's a lot of flavor in this binder. So I use it a lot. I like using quality products when I'm mixing it with my products because I want to make sure that you get a quality result in turn, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a binder here, right? Just a simple little slather here. Just slathering in. This is also going to do two purposes. It's going to add a little flavor to it, but it's also going to allow my rub to adhere to the meat. All right, massage your meat, right? And we're going to use our beef rub. So it's like a salt, pepper, garlic base, but it's got a lot of extra flavors that have a little bit of Spanish and Asian flair to it. Just subtle notes that I like, and it has a little heat to it, but nothing crazy. So it's a coarse seasoning, but we want to put it on there really good. Make sure you get all sides. You know, that's got flavor there. You want flavor on the sides, right? Nobody wants a bad bite, right? We want to have flavor on all sides. Flip it over. So the method I like to use with a tri-tip is a reverse sear. The standard out in Santa Maria, California is they do direct flames over the fire. They're going to flip it, and do it. I like it like that. It's great, but I like to kind of slowly bring it up to temperature. I had this sitting out for about an hour before here, kind of bringing it up to room temperature, right? So I don't want to shock the meat, right? So what I want to do, we would smoke it. How I would do it, I would smoke it at like 225, 250 degrees, bring it up to about 115, 120. I tell people, it's your preference, right? Because everybody likes their beef cooked a different way, right? Me personally, I like mine in the medium rare, right? When I'm cooking for people in public, I try to cook it to a medium, right? And then anybody says they want it well done, I tell them go to the next tent. You know what I'm saying? We don't like dry, jerky. We want it to be juicy, full of flavor, right? So why I season this and put it on the counter, what I would normally do is go out and start my smoker, get it going up to temp, let these seasonings kind of sweat in there on the meat, and then just really marinate in there, right? You don't need to do it overnight. With this W sauce, with my beef rub, it's gonna immediately penetrate this meat, and I hope you're gonna see what I'm talking about afterwards. So we'll sweat it in, we'll smoke it off on there. You know, it'll take about, normally, depending on the cut, tri-tips are about 1.5 to 2.5 pounds on regular, right? If trimmed properly, right? Some butchers that are not sure on how to kill the truck, they could be like one pound, right? Or a little over, and they got a lot of excess, right? If you're cooking open fire, like our guys over here with Alfregoni, you would keep the fat cap on one side and cook it on the fire with that fat cap right there to kind of protect the meat through the cook. But since we're going to do a reverse sear method, I like to trim it off, get off most of the fat. We've got a lot of intermuscular fat in here that's going to give you plenty of flavor that you're going to need. We're going to slowly bring it up to temp. Like I said, it's a preference thing. When I sear it, say if I want to pull it off at 135, I take it up to about 120 and then sear it. So about 15 degrees difference. If you wanted to take it to 140, right, take it up to 125, right, and then take it up to 140. But keep in mind, when you pull off meat, it's going to continue to cook, right? It's going to continue to cook, right? So, and the temperature that you're cooking at will depend on it. So we're going to have this at 500 degrees here. We're going to have this at searing temperatures, right? So it could climb super fast after that, which could take it from being a really good cut to a really dry cut, right? So that's where one of these come in handy, you know. my dad taught me, you know, the field test and everything like that, and I used to do it all the time. But now that I'm cooking for the public, cooking for the people, I'm trying to dial that temperature in as close as possible. So having something like this will help prevent that. So we ain't got time to smoke it, right, for 30, 40 minutes, right? I don't want to bore y'all. I know y'all want to get a drink and get to tasting this tri-tip. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this bad boy over here. Don't worry, we're going to cook that one too. Put on some new gloves. So one thing, I don't do a lot of tongs. I used to use a lot of tongs. Now I do cotton gloves, right? I like to handle the meat, right? So a lot of people in my videos, I do a lot of cooking videos online, showcasing how to cook different, you know, using my products, whether it's on a griddle, a smoker, an offset smoker, a drum smoker. I like to showcase that. I get a lot of people like, man, that guy's hands are made of fire, you know? But that's the trick. Cotton glove underneath, right? You wouldn't want to hold something extremely long at that time frame, but with a nitrile glove, we have it protected. We got some these nice smokers here from Meyer Mixon. Grill grates right here. You can use these grill grates. You can flip them. You can do grill marks on it like this way, or I can flip it to the top, and then we can sear it, but we're going to show you how we sear. I got one here that's just perfectly smoked here. I smoked it to about 120, right, across the board, because I want to take it to about 130, and it's going to climb up to about 140, right?
You got some of this good stuff that Mike cooked up. Get yourself some, it's amazing.
So I almost forgot, all right, what you got on top. What I love to serve with my tri-tip is my man Al Fragoni, chimichurri next door, right? Who's had Al Fragoni's chimichurri yet? All right, those that haven't, you're in for a treat, okay? I'm gonna show you real quick here how we mix this up and how easy this is. Who likes it? How's the tri-tip? How's the chimmy? You like it? All right, so 1 part dry seasoning, right? 1 part red wine vinegar. Kind of eyeing it right here, but we're gonna get it close. So in a chimichurri, you need red wine vinegar, right? In this situation, what it does is rehydrates it, right? So we're gonna rehydrate that chimichurri for a couple minutes. And I add a little more. I can tell it needs just a little more. So on Al's bottle, he actually says 1 part chimichurri, 1 part red wine vinegar, and 2 part olive oil. When I'm serving it on meat, I like to do 1 part, 1 part, 1 part, okay? And the reason being is I don't want it too oily for you on your bite. Now, if I was using like a crostini, if I was grilling off some bread or crostini, and I want that olive oil and that flavors to soak into that bread, then that's when I would do 2 part on the olive oil. Does that make sense? All right, and just like that, boom, 3, 4, 5 minutes later, you got a quick, easy chimichurri. I gotta tell you what, there's nothing like a fresh chimichurri, but I tell you what, give me this all day long. I put this on a flip-flop, and it's good, right? It's good stuff. Just like that, the consistency, that's what I'm looking for there. You know, I don't want it too oily, but that's the consistency. So as you can see, West Coast barbecue, tri-tips, it's become my thing, right? Coming out there. Once I tried it for the first time, I was like, where's this been all my life, right? And I'm fortunate enough to be able to travel the country and cook with a lot of amazing people like these guys over here. And blessed for this opportunity. I appreciate y'all coming out here to SmokeSlam. We're going to be doing some chicken wings tomorrow night, the same time frame. So I'm going to really kind of showcase more of the products, give you some of my flavors, and see if you think the pork and rub is a great on chicken. Anybody got any questions out there for me? Anything. It could be about smokers, grills, styles of cooking, anything. What's that? So we are fortunate enough, actually, here, the Bass Pro Shop here in Memphis, okay? You can buy our all-in-one, our beef, our pork and reaper there. What's that? Yeah, Barbecue All-Star here. We also are in select Home Depots. We got our Scorpion season in select Home Depots so far. So we were one of the first small brands to break into Home Depot. I'm sure y'all are all familiar with Traeger, right? Before that, no other company was in Home Depot with sauces and seasonings, so I was fortunate enough to be one of those. We're also in Shields and hopefully getting in more and more places across the country so others can try our products. But we are on Amazon and on our website. Of course, you can check out all my videos. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I do a lot of cooking videos. This is how I get it out there to showcase people how I use the products. I also took, if you notice, on every one of my seasons, I took the word barbecue off, right? Because I didn't want people to think that this is just for barbecue, okay? Because it's not. If you blend a seasoning well enough, it's going to work on anything and everything. Our Reaper and Scorpion, I can't tell you how many people I see using it on mango, pineapples, margaritas, micheladas, you know. Hey, you can do tahini, right? But check out Reaper and Scorpion on a margarita. Something different. And hopefully y'all enjoy it. Any other questions?
Any tips on, you mentioned a reverse sear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I have a pellet griller.
Yep.
Love to do the reverse sear.
Yep.
Any tips?
Yeah, so pellet smokers can be tricky to do them, right? The best way, some have open pots that give you more direct flames, right? But if they don't, the best way is to have something, which, oh, by the way, we forgot about our tri-tip over here. Or let's say I forgot about it. Let's check it out. Let's see how we're looking over here. But yeah, that's the best way. You can cast iron, skillet is another option.
Perfect, brother.
All right, that's what I like to hear. He said it's perfect.
It is. You got
All right.
good sheen on it. It's perfect medium rare. It's an awesome sear.
Let's see, check out, see where we're at. We're about 128, 129, so we're gonna let it go for a few more minutes, and then we'll let that rest. That's another thing, right? So with most meats, you want to have them resting, right? The rest time depends on the type of meat and what you're looking to do, right? With a steak, with a tri-tip, or with a picanha, you want to at least let it rest for about 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, right? And that's going to draw those juices back inside, right? If you were to slice it right away, first of all, it'd be super hot, right? And then second of all, as soon as you slice it, you're just going to see everything just run out, right? All those flavors just ran out. So you want to give it a chance to just soak back in to that meat and really just marinate in there, because that's going to make a huge difference, right? You waited this long, wait 15 more minutes. It's not like a brisket or a pork butt where we got to wait for a while. I know my daughter, she loves steak, she loves tri-tip. Every time I'm doing it, she's sitting there like waiting at the chopping board, like, is it time? Is it time? As soon as I end the camera shot, she's like, okay, I'm good, you know. So yeah. Did that answer your question on the reverse sear? Cool, awesome. Any other questions? Come on, hit me with it.
Know anything about beef jerky?
Oh man, this guy right here has got some beef jerky right here. My man Brian Duchesne over here, Air Force veteran himself, who got a sauce. Come to you too, brother. Glad to see you out here. We met 4 years ago. Both of our co-packers, so pretty cool. You know, that's the beauty of this community, the barbecue community. And that's why I enjoy it, is because it brought the camaraderie that I was missing from the military, right? When I got out of the military, I lost all that camaraderie, and I kind of went into my own like shell, right? And it wasn't until I found the barbecue community that it brought me back. Yeah, so cool. Thanks a lot. I appreciate y'all's time. Thanks a lot. don't forget the strike tip, though,
Yes,
right?
that's it. Go ahead and put it up. He's done. I was on one. So thank you for coming out.
So good and looks so good. Son of a gun.
That's good for me right there. This is going to be perfect temperature for me.